Originally, when this was purchased about 13, almost 14 years ago, we had regional children's classes for Baha'is all throughout the Twin Cities area. They'd all come here, they'd have classes upstairs once a week. Since then, it's been decided to do that more locally on the grassroots level. So we don't do that anymore, but again, a lot of the centers around the country were probably purchased at that time when they needed some place to do that.
Yeah.
Or to get together for the holy days, that's what we do now. And then the Baha'is also get together once every 19 days. That's once, we have a calendar of 19 months.
19 months with 19 days in it.
Yeah. And many communities, the entire community will get together and have what they call the 19-day feast to commemorate that. It has, again, devotionals, and there's a consultative portion, I call it, where we discuss the business of the community, and then there's a social portion at the end. In cities like Minneapolis, that gathering gets so large that we begin to split this, not split, but
hold several
of them in different areas of the city, just so that they're a little smaller, more manageable, and people get to know each other a little better. So that's what we're doing in Minneapolis. Every 3 out of every 4 feasts is like that. And then on the 4th feast, we do get together, and that's why it's nice to have this kind of area, which gets maybe 50 or 60 people typically.
Yeah, I was surprised because when I clicked on the like the entire Baha'i faith to see like where like certain areas, like where there were centers, and I was surprised by how many are actually in the Twin Cities area, because it had a lot of pins where it showed where you could go. So I'm like, I've never noticed like anything really there.
There isn't. This is the only physical center. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The other ones are probably just, you know, the person that's basically taking the mail, you might say, or maybe in charge for the assembly or for the Baha'is that live in that town. So, like if there's St. Paul Center, it's probably the secretary of the local spiritual assembly.
But there are somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,200 or 1,300 Baha'is in the greater metro area.
Yeah.
So, because we have, Dave was talking about assemblies, and there are about 15 assemblies around Minneapolis. That there are enough Baha'is in those cities that they are their own functioning unit.
Am I allowed to ask, did you guys join on your own? Were you born into this?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
That's
a very common question. We were both not Baha'is when we were born, and so we did join later. My wife became a Baha'i when she was in college, and I became a Baha'i maybe 10 years later. And that was about 30-some years ago now. There are Baha'is here that were originally from Iran, which is where my faith started. So some of them do go back a number of generations.
And there are some Americans who, second or third generation.
That's right.
So, but you do have to, one important thing about the Baha'i faith is that you have to decide whether this is the truth or not.
Yeah.
So just because you were born to Baha'i parents does not mean that you have to be Baha'i. You have to think about it. They call that independent investigation of the truth. And you have to decide that at age 15, that, yes, I do believe in it, or no, I don't. At which point you kind of also asked about baptisms and confirmations. When we do decide to become Baha'i, we basically, all you have to do is sign a card that, we only have some old cards. And there were some up here. There's one. And this is basically kind of an administrative thing so that National knows who we are.
So it's just a little sheet of paper saying who
Yeah.
you are?
Yeah, there's a little statement on there that, in signing this card, I think they've changed this too, haven't they?
Yeah.
But I declare my belief in Baha'u'llah, the promised one of God. I also recognize the Bab, his forerunner, and Abdu'l-Baha, the center of his covenant. I request enrollment in the Baha'i community with the understanding that Baha'u'llah has established sacred principles, laws, and institutions which I must obey. So, I
And
think
some,
they've toned it down, if that sounds very serious.
you know,
So,
that's a little
yeah.
more casual, you might say. But sometimes people will have a party, but it's just like a party, it's not,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not,
kind
not
it's not a
necessary.
rite or a ritual.
Yeah.
you know.
so it's just like a celebration of
Yep.
like you joining the church.
Yep.
Okay.
And, you know, we were talking about, speaking of celebrations, and I was thinking about this, because we talked about the calendar of 19 days,
Mhm.
and 19 months, and that, you know, end up with enough days that way.
Yeah.
But, so the extra days are called, the extra 4 days, because it's 19 minus 19, 361, as I'm sure you know.
So,
Anyway, the extra days are called ayami,
okay.
and they are 4 or 5 days during leap year. And they are before the last month. And those are times for reflection and charity and gift giving. And a lot of times, at least in this country, people use that for gift giving and, you know, having parties.
So it's
and
kind
things.
of like just the gift giving day of the year.
It can be, yeah.
Can be, but
It's,
it's not supposed to
again,
get out of hand.
Yeah,
you know.
it's not
So,
quite as commercial.
how do you
material.
guys celebrate birthdays then, and when your
There's
birthday is?
nothing different about it, you know.
Because
Yeah, it's
since
it's
there
more
are like
cultural.
31 days in like
Uh,
the
Oh, okay.
calendar,
Yeah.
like that.
Honestly, we tend to, you know, we tend to go, you know, it's almost like the Baha'i calendar is kind of an extra calendar,
Yeah.
you know, that guides you on when you have feast and everything. But we live in this world, and we have to live with the calendar that you know
Yeah, with the
everybody has.
With the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
And again, since the Baha'i calendar has 365 days,
Mhm.
just like the Gregorian calendar,
Yeah.
the same day of a Baha'i date is on the same day as a Gregorian date.
Okay.
So if we wanted to say my birthday is the first of Allah, for
Mhm.
example, first day of Allah, it would be that that would be the first day of August every year.
Yeah.
Windy. I'll close
So it
August.
wouldn't matter. So those people that really want to follow exactly the days of the months,
Mhm.
they can, but most people in this country at least at this time don't.
Okay.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah. I was just curious since
Yeah.
I was 19 and 29.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but reading like the websites, like the Minnesota one and then the US one, it seemed like such an open, accepting religion. It's like you're welcome to come whenever you want, and it just seems really open as a religion.
I think that's fair to say. Well, we're founded on some basic principles. The one being that there is only one God.
Yep.
Next, that there is only one people. So everybody, no matter how diverse they are, you know, we should make room in our lives for them.
Yeah.
And then the third principle is that there's only one unfolding religion, meaning that all of the, we honor all of the prophets
Yeah.
from the other religions, because, they're like stepping stones. There's just one big stepping stone, hopping from Buddha to Krishna to Zoroaster, to Moses, and I'm probably getting these out of order,
To Muhammad.
to Muhammad, to Jesus, and that they each have their own role to play in helping humanity.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like going to school, and when you look at it in a long-term kind of way, that there's first grade and then second grade. For example, the teachers of first grade don't know, they're just as smart as the teachers of second grade. It's just that they have to tune their message to either younger or older
Yeah.
kids. So that's kind of our position on it.
And on this religion is kind of like the tune, you could say, of the modern day.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of like humanity now is hitting adulthood, which is another reason why we have no clergy, is that, at one time, people couldn't read. Education was very rare. Now, we're charged to make sure that we're educated so that we can read the writings and be a part of society. So.
Do you have any questions?